I just poured a bucket of water into a dry dirt pit and somehow got an infinite water source. Then I casually tossed a few seeds onto this barren land and instantly got piles of food. That scene just so happened to be seen by a boy passing by named Stone, and he immediately thought I'd met a god who came down from heaven. Immortal, please. Please save my mom. Seeing how devoted he was, I told him to go back and bring me a cow. After all, in Minecraft, milk clears every negative status effect. Thank you, Immortal. I'll bring a cow for sure. Do you need anything else? Just call me Lynn. Do you have any string at home? I want to make a fishing rod. No problem, I'll go get it right now. But brother Lynn, the river nearby dried up a long time ago. Where are you even gonna fish? I glanced at the tiny mud puddle by my feet and smirked with total confidence. Relax, even if there are no fish here, I can still catch one. Stone said goodbye and sprinted all the way home. The second he got inside, his dad beat him hard. You little punk, how dare you run off like that? Your mom's dying, don't you know that? Dad, stop, I found a way to save Mom! The air around them froze instantly. Who told you that? Brother Lynn, in the woods by the burial ground. He said if we bring a cow, he can save Mom. But instead of being happy, old Lee slumped to the ground, his face full of despair. How could there be a living person near that burial ground? You've been bewitched. Stone's face turned red with panic. Brother Lynn is a good guy. He just told me to bring him some string. Old Lee wouldn't listen at all. He grabbed the last 2 geese in the house and looked determined. You're still young. You've got a long life ahead of you. I'll go deal with that monster myself. From now on, this family's on you. Meanwhile, I had just gotten up from a wooden bed and my whole body felt stiff. I really need to gather some wood and wool to craft a proper bed, or my back's gonna give out sooner or later. I walked to the door and stepped on the switch. The wooden door opened automatically. Outside, the saplings I planted a few days ago had already grown into giant trees. I tapped my inventory a few times, and an axe appeared out of thin air in my hand. I started chopping at the tree with the axe, and the logs went straight into my inventory. Then I heard Stone shouting from far away, Brother Lynn, I brought the string, but my dad didn't trust you, so he came too. Old Lee looked up, and his pupils shrank instantly. Next to my cabin was a whole field of golden ripe rice. In a drought like this, how could crops possibly grow that well? He forced down his fear and respectfully stepped forward. Young Master Lin, my son offended you. Please accept these 2 geese as an apology. If anyone should be punished, let it be me. Please spare my boy. I was completely confused. Weren't they here to ask me to save someone? Why was I suddenly the villain? Stone hurried up and explained, my dad thinks you're some man-eating monster. No matter what I say, he won't believe me. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Uncle Lee, I mean Stone, no harm, and I still plan to keep my word about saving your wife. Just bring her and the cow here. Seeing that old Lee still wasn't fully convinced, I came up with an idea. Let me borrow these 2 geese first. I'll do a little test. Then I casually pulled up some rice. Brother Lin, why'd you knock down the rice before it was ripe? Stone looked at the rice I pulled up and felt awful about it. It's fine. I've got another use for it. Under old Lee's shocked stare, the seeds on the ground flew straight into my palm, and the 2 geese immediately got restless, staring hard at the seeds in my hand. I smiled a little and silently chose feed. The next second, the 2 geese pressed up against each other, and in just 3 seconds, a fluffy little gosling appeared out of nowhere. No egg, no nothing. Old Lee's eyes nearly popped out. How is that even possible? Stone was so excited he could barely talk. There's no way a monster could do that, right? Old Lee's brain completely crashed. His legs gave out and he dropped to his knees, banging his head on the ground. I was blind and stupid. I mistook an immortal for a monster. Please, immortal, forgive me. I hurried over to help him up. No, I'm not some immortal. I'm just an ordinary Steve. But obviously old Lee had no idea what Steve even meant. He stayed on his knees and turned to yell, You brat! Kneel to the immortal right now! Totally helpless, I quickly changed the subject. Bring your wife here as soon as possible. She's seriously sick. We can't delay. Tomorrow will come. And the cow too. I'll go buy one right now. No need to buy one, just borrow one. My method won't hurt the cow. Understood, Immortal Lin. And also stop calling me Immortal Lin. Just call me Steve. Got it, Immortal Lin. I waved him off. Call me whatever you want. Old Lee hesitated for a moment, then awkwardly spoke up. I have one more request. It can't be easy for you out here alone in the mountains. Is there any chance Stone could stay by your side and help out? Stone immediately knelt down. I'm willing to be your follower. I thought about it for a moment. With my system abilities, I never have to worry about food or drink. But this invisible wall keeps me trapped in the valley, so trading with the villagers is a pain. Helping out a poor family like theirs seemed fair enough. I smiled and waved my hand. No need for the master-servant thing. Stone can just follow me around and help run errands. Thank you so much, Immortal Lin. After old Lee left with Stone thanking me over and over, he finally relaxed. His wife could be saved, and his son now had an immortal backing him up. That was about the best news he could have asked for. I put the string and sticks into the crafting table and instantly made a fishing rod. Then I casually cast it into the little mud puddle. Before long, the bobber moved. Got one. I reeled it in and it was a pufferfish. Sure enough, as long as there's water, you can fish. Maybe I could even pull an enchanted book. I kept casting over and over, having the time of my life. Meanwhile, old Lee went to borrow a cow from the village chief, Lee Wanshan. Li Wanshan stroked his beard and looked totally unimpressed. There's an immortal in the mountains and he still needs a cow? What is he, the cowherd or the supreme lord? Old Li begged him, Chief, yours is the only cow in the whole village. Please just lend it to me for one day. If I have to, I'll trade my family's land for it. Li Wanshan sighed. It's not that I won't lend it. I'm just afraid you're getting scammed. Li Wanshan let out a long sigh, but in the end he gave in. Fine, you can borrow the cow, but I'm coming with you tomorrow to see this for myself. After old Li left, Li Wanshan's face darkened and he immediately called for his son. You heard that too, right? This has to be some scammer. Li Qianshan nodded, rolled up his sleeves and said angrily, I don't know where this lowlife came from, but he's got some nerve coming to Li Village to cheat people. The two of them made a plan and decided to capture the so-called fraud first thing the next morning. But late that same night, old Li's wife suddenly took a turn for the worse. Before dawn, someone started pounding on the door. Li Wanshan opened it and saw Stone standing there. Grandpa Chief, my mom's burning up and talking nonsense. Please bring the cow and come with me. We have to find Brother Lin. At a time like this and you still believe that fraud? I'm going to get a doctor. No, we don't need a doctor. We just need the cow. Brother Lin really can save my mom. Li Wanshan frowned. Your dad was already acting crazy, and now you're going along with it too. Stone was so anxious he was about to cry. With no other choice, Li Wanshan softened and led the cow into the woods with him. Brother Lin still wasn't asleep. He was fishing. Looking in that direction, Li Wanshan saw me sitting in front of a dry little mud pit with a fishing rod, even though there wasn't even a ripple of water in it. Half his heart sank on the spot. Knew it. Total scammer. Then something bizarre happened. With a splash, a fish nearly 2 feet long got yanked up. Then it turned into a streak of golden light and got pulled straight into my inventory. Li Wanshan's heart started pounding. He's a real immortal. Brother Lin, we brought the cow, please save my mom. I turned when I heard him and knew her condition had gotten worse. Hurry! Bring the cow over here. As I said that, I dumped out all the water in my bucket. Water that clean, and he just dumped it out like that? Li Wanshan stared at the crystal clear water, heartbroken. But saving her came first, so I didn't bother explaining. I held the empty bucket up to the cow and focused for a few seconds. Instantly, white milk started pouring out and filled the bucket in no time. Li Wanshan froze on the spot, too stunned to say a word. That was obviously a bull. I walked over to the puddle and scooped out a bowl of fresh milk. All right, have your mom drink this. That should clear up whatever's wrong with her. Old Li gently laid his wife, Su Wan, on the ground and brought the bowl to her lips right away. The milk actually flowed into her mouth on its own. Then the miracle happened. Color came back to Su Wan's face at a speed visible to the naked eye. By the end, she looked even healthier than old Li standing beside her. The sickness was completely gone. But after days of staying up, exhaustion hit her all at once. She forced herself to thank me. Thank you, Immortal Lin, for saving my life. It was nothing. No need to thank me. The moment I finished speaking, Su Wan's head tilted and she fell fast asleep. Wan Niang, what happened to you? Old Li's face turned bright red with panic and he quickly looked at me. Immortal, my wife. She's okay, right? I reassured him. Relax, she's completely healed. She's just weak and exhausted, so she passed out asleep. I quietly let out a breath. At least I saved her. Everyone else was overjoyed, but village chief Li Wanshan just stood there staring at the little puddle. As the chief of Li Village, no one knew the village's situation better than he did. A week ago, the groundwater had completely run dry, and even the deep well only had a thin layer left. They barely had enough for drinking, let alone irrigation. And yet I kept drawing water from this little puddle with zero loss at all. It felt unreal. Li Wanshan stretched out a shaking hand and gently dipped it into the water. The cool touch wrapped around his rough, calloused fingers. He didn't hesitate. He cupped up a handful and drank it. The sweetness of spring water filled his mouth instantly. This was life-saving water. You could drink it, water the fields with it, and save the village crops. At that moment, Li Wanshan became fully convinced. The young man in front of him really was an immortal sent down to Earth. He just didn't know how to bring up what he wanted to ask. I smiled first and asked, Sir, are you Stone's grandpa? Just being addressed by me made Li Wanshan so excited his face turned red. Stammering, he said, No, sir. I'm the village chief of Li Village. As soon as Li Wanshan finished speaking, his knees bent again. Seriously, again with the kneeling? I sighed helplessly and hurried over to hold him up. Sir, please get up. I'm really just an ordinary Steve, but Li Wanshan was still terrified. His whole body was shaking, especially his left leg, which was trembling way harder than the rest. Clearly he had some old lingering injury. Seeing that, I drew a few more bowls of milk and had everyone there drink some. So, how do you feel? I feel lighter all over. My leg doesn't hurt anymore. Li Wanshan was especially overjoyed. He was already getting old. Every winter, the joint in his left leg hurt so badly he could barely walk, and even a little cold wind would make it ache. But now, there wasn't even the slightest discomfort left. He was so excited he actually jogged a couple steps. Thank you for the medicine, Immortal. Li Wanshan knew I didn't like people kneeling, so he only bowed respectfully. I waved it off. It's nothing. Chief, don't worry about it. But Li Wanshan lowered his head even more. After hesitating for a long time, he said, Immortal Lin, forgive my boldness, but I have one request. This is about the water, right? Honestly, I already noticed the villagers were short on water, and I was planning to help anyway. I just didn't expect the chief to bring it up first. That's right. This place hasn't had rain in 3 months. The fields are cracked dry and we're completely out of options. I wouldn't dare ask for immortal water. I only hope you can ask the Dragon King to send rain. That's actually what I was planning to do next. Come with me. I led the group toward Li Village while thinking to myself, over the past few days, farming and fishing had earned me plenty of XP. I was level 8 now, and my movement range had expanded to the area near Li Village. Finally, I stopped in front of the invisible wall. Alright, right here should work. Here should. I dug a dirt pit by hand and poured a bucket of water on each side. Just like that, a brand new infinite water source was made. Chief, please let the villagers know they can come here for water from now on. Li Wanshan looked at the endless flowing water and couldn't stop smiling. He didn't understand how it worked, but he figured it was just an immortal's method, and that was enough for him. Immortal, won't you come into the village and rest for a bit? Seeing me turn back, Stone looked disappointed. But the permissions wouldn't allow it, and there was nothing I could do. Li Wanshan carefully asked too, Immortal, are you facing some kind of difficulty? I thought for a moment and decided not to hide it. I'll show you, and you'll understand. With that, I stepped forward through the invisible wall. In the next second, the whole world started shaking violently. The sudden tremor made Li Wanshan stumble and nearly fall. Then he saw a sight he would never forget for the rest of his life.